What's going on, everybody? My name is CD, and today we are talking about the next gold AR. This one is the Itra Burst. I think this is the only default burst rifle in Vanguard, and usually in other Call of Duties, you know, there's always a burst rifle that really stands out, sometimes even the best gun in the game. You don't have to worry about that. In Vanguard, the Itra Burst is just not it. It is a 4-round burst assault rifle, so it kind of just melts through ammo pretty quickly. I believe the default mag is like 20, so you really only get 5 shots and you have to reload. Pretty annoying, and without any attachments, you really never get that one burst. That's what makes a burst rifle great, is if you can get a pretty consistent 1, maybe 2 burst kills, and you can get that or something similar to it, but you need the perfect attachments, which I'm going to go into now. All right, so to start off on the muzzle, we're going to use the G28 compensator. It's going to help you with a little bit of recoil control, as there is actually some recoil with a burst rifle. A little bit annoying there, but there is for sure. And as I said, you're probably not going to get that one burst kill, so to get those subsequent bursts, you're going to need some help with the recoil. Moving over to the barrel, we're going to use the third one, the Perfetto 140mm Rapida. So this is going to help with that fire rate. Actually going to help you get some of those subsequent bursts out of the gun. It does take a little bit of time when the gun is just default, so that extra fire rate does help. This does hurt your sprint to fire speed, which is kind of a big con there, but with this burst rifle, you're probably not going to be sprinting around with it like a sub. Use it like a slow AR for sure. Next up is the Optic. Now, I guess with a rifle like this, as I said, a slow AR, you may want to go with an actual scope. For me, personal preference, I'm just going to always run the slate reflector. Not much to kind of take up your screen, not much to get in the way. Pretty easy, and I play a lot of the smaller maps anyway, so personal preference, but I would use the slate reflector. For the stock, I'm going to use the very first one, the body SSI skeletal. That kind of gets back that sprint to fire speed as well as a little bit of movement speed. It does hurt that initial accuracy and recoil, and I don't know if that counts for every burst initially, like the first bullet or something. I'm not really sure how that works, but it kind of counteracts with that muzzle that we put on at the beginning. Moving then over to the Underbarrel, we're gonna use the last one again, that recoil and as well as accuracy, a little bit of help here, because you're never really gonna be spraying with a burst rifle, and you are losing hip fire accuracy, but not a huge deal. I think the Underbarrel is where you can have a little bit more creativity, as there are other options, like the Mark 6 skeletal may be very helpful with that ADS speed, or even something like the M3 Ready Grip. I'm not as big of a fan because you are losing that recoil control, but it does make it a little bit quicker. Now getting into some of the major attachments, these are the ones you must run. So for this one, we're going to run the third mag here, the 32 round drums. You want to make sure you are not losing damage. So actually 2 magazines with the Itra Burst. The second one here, the 20 round mag, you're losing a damage, and this last one here, you're losing a damage. Those are just going to be insanely hard to get any kills with a burst rifle when you're losing damage. Now, yes, they increase the recoil control and they increase the fire rate, but you're always going to want that damage. You're always going to want to try to get those one bursts, and losing damage, you're going the wrong way. You could use, I guess, the 12 round fast mags, but as I said before, 4-round burst, you only have 12 bullets, so that's only 3 bursts, and then you need to reload. Pretty annoying, so the 32, much more ammo to use. Much better. Ammo type, there's 2 here you could use. Most ARs I'm always running lengthened, but for the Itra Burst, I could run hollow point a little bit for that extra limb damage, hopefully trying to get that one burst kill. And that'll actually go along with the proficiency here of Vital. So Vital is huge. You need to run Vital. That increased air for critical hits. This is what makes it into a possible one burst weapon. For the rear grip, again, you can kind of run a few different grips here, but the fabric grip, speeding up the gun a little bit, helping your ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, is very helpful to kind of round out the rest of the attachments. And then finally the kit, I basically always just run fully loaded, as there's really not another great one that's going to help in a lot of different gunfights, so fully loaded so you're not running out of ammo. All right, so next up, going through some of the more difficult or annoying camos, because of course there's got to be one for the only burst rifle in the game, and they want you to get 100 hip fire kills with 3 specific attachments. Very annoying. I would suggest obviously playing a small map playlist, so whatever's in the game at the time you're trying to do this, shipment, Das House, whatever it may be. Obviously you have to run the attachments that it says, plus any others. You're going to want your sprint to fire up as much as possible and your hip fire accuracy. Now, core versus hardcore. Personally, I would go with hardcore, just to make sure that you're not getting multiple hit markers into somebody in core, to make sure you're getting those kills. You are going to die a ton, but in maps like shipment, even in core, you're probably going to die a ton. So just get the kills, get the deaths, get over with this camo, move on to the next one. But I think that's really it for the Itra Burst. Pretty I don't know, pretty annoying weapon to start out with. Once you get that vital and once you get that 32 round mag, it's a pretty decent gun. A lot of people are hating on it. A lot of people really hate the weapon because while you're trying to level it up is so annoying and it's so bad. Probably something I will never use again unless it gets a buff in the future, which could make it pretty interesting to have a burst rifle kind of in that meta of the best ARs. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, make sure to click that like button, sub if you guys have not already, and I'll see you guys.